The Tory Brexit-supporter ridiculed the European Union and said the Brussels bloc is unable to offer Britain with a reasonable deal because it does not want the UK to leave, addressing MPs ahead of another round of Brexit amendment voting. On Wednesday evening, Mr. Drax said, "Let's be honest, any of us in this House think that we are going to strike a fair deal before we leave. I don't think so because the EU doesn't want us to go. The EU doesn't want us to go." Richard Drax, "They are making it very clear that that is what they want. To make it as hard for us to stay and leave," the Brexiteer MP highlighted on the utter chaos being displayed to Brussels as he called on his colleagues to imagine how the EU would have reacted if MPs were united and backed Britain's decision to leave the Brussels bloc. The Tory MP warned against extending Article 50 and added, "I would suggest negotiations with the EU would have gone a very different way over the last 2 years, but now we are facing what some would describe a cliff edge. I would disagree." Brexit news. Richard Drax says EU will not offer UK deal because it does not want Britain to leave. Image Parliament TV Getty, by moving it to April-May. June. Is that going to change the direction of travel and what we are trying to do? No, in June, there will be more amendments and effort by members in this place to stop leaving the EU. So we have to make up our minds. Mr. Drax summarized his defiant Brexit speech and called for unity among MPs to fight for a fair Brexit deal. He added, "A fair deal, yes. Let's fight for that together because together we will get a fair deal. Divided here, the EU must be sitting back there with the champagne out. The lobsters are being slaughtered. Why? Because they are looking at the chaos in this place. United we stand and united we get a fair deal and we will get out of the EU." Prime Minister Theresa May announced in the House of Commons on Tuesday that she would push her meaningful vote to March 12, 2 weeks later than she had originally promised. The Prime Minister said that if her Brexit deal is rejected, MPs will be offered 2 votes by March 13 on whether the UK leaves with no deal or chooses to delay Brexit beyond March 29, Mrs. May told the House of Commons on Tuesday. "I know members across the House are genuinely worried that time is running out, that if the government doesn't come back with a further meaningful vote, or it loses that vote, Parliament won't have time to make its voice heard. On the next steps, I want to reassure the House by making 3 further commitments. Firstly, we will hold a second meaningful vote by March 12 at the latest. If government has not won the meaningful vote by March 12, we will table a motion for it to be voted on by March 13, asking the House if it supports leaving the EU without a withdrawal agreement and framework for a future relationship on March 29. The UK will only leave without a deal on March 29 if there is explicit consent in the House for that outcome.